Well, my name's Brett Dillingham, and I've come here because I teach children how to write and tell their own stories. And I often teach them how to take their storytelling and make it into a digital story. I do this around the world with different cultures and different continents. So I came here to Barrow because what I wanted to do is work with the Heritage Center. And I wanted the students to get a real good idea of what's here, of their heritage and the culture that's here already. And for it to spark their minds so that they would choose something that they wanted to tell a story about. And they would write that story and learn how to tell it, and tell it in a way that's very engaging and interesting. And they'll learn it in a way that they won't forget. Today the children told stories about things like an ivory comb made from a walrus tusk and how to make that. They learned about harpooning a whale and the dangers involved with that. There are a lot of cultural values interwoven in the stories they told. And there are posters around the classroom that talk about the Inupiat cultural values. Things like cooperation, respect, humility. And we found those in the stories. They were in all the stories, had at least one of the traditional values. And we talked about that. The students knew that. The kids gained a lot of self-esteem and motivation, as well as respecting each other through this. A teacher told me this one student who wrote a story, one of the two harpooning stories, she said he'd never written in her class, and he wrote a 1.5-page story. There's a little girl there who you can't hear what she says because she speaks so quietly. You literally can't understand her when she's that far away. But now you can understand her when she's a few feet away because she's got the confidence to use her voice. And that's an important thing to learn. So one of the things I focus on with this, the main thing is education with the broadband grants, because you couldn't do this before. You couldn't have a story of a kid and then have someone watch it in a city 3 miles away, or a village 100 miles away, or around the world, because it's just too much data. And the rural areas, just their pipes are so small, you just can't get all that movie and sound through, but now they'll be able to. So that's one of the main things I'm focusing on, and the other is healthcare and employability, and I'll do that through storytelling too. So everybody wants to tell stories. They really do deep inside. And that's why all the kids told their stories today. Not one of them said, I'm not going to stand up in front of those 50 people with those 2 cameras in my face and with a microphone there. I'm not going to do that. They did it in a week. They got the confidence to do it. Everybody wants to do it. I think I've found a way that allows people to do that and encourages them. Everything I learned about how to teach kids how to read and write and speak and listen, I integrated with teaching them storytelling and writing. So I kind of put this, I call it performance literacy. It's performing literacy. And when people have a chance to do that, they learn a lot. I encourage everybody to do it, even if they don't have to become a storyteller, but to know that they can tell their story and tell it in a compelling and interesting way so that people listen and hear that story. That's a super important thing for people to be able to do. And I'll teach people to do that, and they'd be able to do it.